Okay, so we're going to be talking about the 9 feminine superpowers. And before you ask, what are these feminine superpowers? Well, for me, these are the core of our building blocks as women. These are what we come in already kind of activated in some cases. We have our inner girl, we have the understanding of mother, the concept. There's certain ones that we already have activated. We call that the foundational parts of our superpower or our feminine energy. So when we're talking about feminine superpowers, feminine energies, we're talking, when we say archetypes, we are talking about those structures that we understand as identities and almost universal identities that we have as women. And so these identities will play out in certain ways depending on your experiences, who you are, where you've been, and they show up in different ways. And when they show up in balance, they show up in one way. When they show up out of balance, they show up in a whole unique different ways. So let's start at the very top. What are these feminine superpowers? So I'm going to, like I said, I'm going to touch on 9, and there are more than 9. If any of you are familiar with Jungian psychology, Carl Jung's work, he talks about this rainbow, almost an arc of archetypes that show up, and there are almost 24 of them that different people have talked about in different times in different places. I'm going to narrow it down to 9. So what are the 9? So we have the inner child, we have the mother, we have the queen, we have the warrioress, we have the goddess, we have the lover, we have the alchemist, we have the wise woman, and we have the diva. Now, some of you might already go, oh, diva, I don't like the sound of that, but let's put this in context. So the word diva, I'm going to go back to the origin of the word. So the origin of the word diva came from the Latin for divinus, which means divine one. You are divine one. And it's the feminine version of divinus is diva. And it was originally allocated or ascribed to a woman who has reached the pinnacle of her career, that's either in the operatic environment, that she had achieved that status. And it doesn't mean stroppy, it doesn't mean moody, doesn't mean over demanding, doesn't mean none of that. And that's been co-opted, but that's a whole different story. So we'll go into that in a little bit later. So let's start from the very beginning. The first one that we know and we are is the inner child. That inner child of us, that us from ages dot to 13, that pure essence of us. We think that at the age we become teenagers, she goes away. She doesn't. She just steps out of the stage. Imagine that you were a play in yourself, and each of these superpowers step to the forefront like actors in that play. Your inner girl, the young girl that you used to be, the inner girl is still alive within you. She is your ever optimistic and hopeful version of you. She is that version of you that is, she wants to play. She wants joy. She wants to jump, to move. She wants to hum and sing and go, ah! She is looking for all the pleasures in the world. That is your inner child. And she may have experienced some things that dulled her, that took that joy from her, but for a while, but you know what about the inner child? She bounces back and she can recover. And there's work that you need to do to nurture, reconnect, reparent her, learn to re-love her so that she flourishes. And when we delve into each of them individually, I will talk about why we need these parts of us, these feminine superpowers of us, why we need them flourishing in our lives. So then we go to the mother. The mother is the nurturer. She is the one that will nurture from infancy, from invisible to visible, feed you, keep you, and bring you up. Now, some of us didn't have the greatest relationship with our mothers. Some did, some didn't. Some of us had different relationships. Regardless of the relationships that you may have had with your own birth mother, The concept of nurturing and mothering does not only lie with her now, it lies with you. Some of you may be parents of your own to tiny people. Some of you have decided that's not my journey. Some of us have decided, well, we will figure it out. But the concept of this, the energetic concept of what it means to mother, to nurture, to care. We may think we don't do that for a physical person, but some of you are pet moms or plant moms. Some of you are nurturing businesses and have nurtured them from the invisible to it being present. And so there's understanding that nurturing is not just between mother and child, it's also you nurturing yourself, you mothering yourself, and being able to give you, in case you didn't have that growing up, give you that nurturing that your inner child may be missing. So it's you going back and doing that work and reconnecting with your inner child, and you giving her that mothering, but also you giving your adult self, this very version of you that you see every day in the mirror, giving her that love and attention and affection and nurturing, and treating her like she is worthy of that nurturing just because. And that's the element of the mother. And the fact is, when we talk about these feminine superpowers, people are like, well, the mother has no place in the workplace. And I'm like, okay, I don't want to work where you work, because the mother has absolutely every business in the workplace. Like I mentioned, is that nurturing ability to take something who is unconscious of their knowledge, unconscious of their power, and being able to nurture that person, give them the skills and tools and techniques, and so they become productive members of society or productive members of the team. You nurture your colleagues to be better at their job. You nurture your business environment so that you build a supportive and nurturing culture. So you take the mother out of the workplace, you take the mother out of the business, you take the heart out of the business. You take the heart, and you need that. You need that. And it's funny because there are men in the workplace who are using those skills that we are afraid to take into the workplace. But we'll touch on that. And then we have the queen. And a lot of people are like, oh, this queen, everybody's talking about the queen. Everybody's like, yes, queen, yes, queen. And the queen is a whole energy in herself. The queen, and a lot of women are like, oh, I'm not a queen, I'm not royalty. This is not about, sometimes it's not about royalty per se. A queen can be a queen without a crown. A queen can be a queen without a kingdom, because it's about understanding your sovereign self and saying, I am the queen of me, and this is my sovereign self. This is about boundary building. This is about knowing your worth. This is about knowing who you are. This is about having a creative vision for yourself and knowing that you are the driver, the head, the leader. This is about the queen energy, is about embodying that boss energy, not the bossy energy, because no grown woman is bossy. And actually, please, if you have tiny people in your home and that are girls, please don't call them bossy. They're forthright. They speak their mind. They are queens in the making. They are boundary setters. They know how to utilize their no. A queen understands that a no is a complete sentence, and she doesn't justify it for anybody. That's a queen. And that is super powerful. Now, when we shift from the queen, we shift to the warrioress. And a lot of you will recognize the warrioress because there's that side of us that's always like, point me at it, I would deal with it. It's the sister from Encanto who is like, I will flatten the churches, I will lift the donkeys, I can deal with everything. The warrioress is the one that goes forward, is our take action, goal achieving side of ourselves. And also is the one that basically, if you cross the queen's boundaries, is the one that will poke you in the eye. Poke, whether physically or not. And please, this is not me out. I am not condoning violence, but what I'm saying is the warrioress side of us is a side of us that knows how to protect us. They come with the shield, with the sword. Think Dora Milaje from Black Panther. Think the Black Widow. That energy of I would protect the ones I love. And even if that one I love is me first. So the warrioress is the one that the queen sends to carry out the duties. So the queen comes up with ideas and plans. The warrioress energy is our do energy, is the one that goes out into the world to do, is the one that steps up into those spaces that the inner girl is afraid to step into, is the one that basically that the mother sends to protect the inner child. That warrior energy, that warrioress energy is what we need, is our strive forward, take action energy. And we need her. The problem is half the time is that we overuse her and she's exhausted. And there are reasons why. She's exhausted because we have been told that we need to be in that energy all the time. And the duty of the warrior is right now is learning how to put down the shield, the sword, and how to be open and vulnerable. And that's one of the what's to come with the warrioress. The next is the goddess. That is that element of us that creates, the creator element that pulls things and goes. The goddess is ethereal, eternal, immortal. The goddess predates time itself. Now, depending on what mythology you follow and have read, have been exposed to, you will know that there is the creation of the earth would have started through either the goddess birthing it into existence, the goddess showing up, and an action followed, and there we are. Now, the West African goddess mythology around the Yemia. Yemia is that we come through her birth canal as her water breaks because she came onto the earth pregnant, and her water breaks, and from it, all the great lakes, the seas, and all the water across the land comes through her, the fishes, the other deities, and then us. We are birthed in. Our world that we live on is known as a mother nature, is that goddess, is that energy. It predates everything. And that goddess energy is about understanding that we are magical. We are made of the same things that stardust are made of. And understanding that and understanding how to use that creation energy for good when we're in balance, and for what will nourish us and others, or when you are out of balance, you use it and destroy. So you are either, take the mythology of Kali, where you have to destroy to create, because sometimes you have to destroy what is there and create something brand new. There are different creatrix goddess stories out there. And understanding that the goddess energy is something that we cannot hide from. And then the next one, which is actually one of my favorites of the superpower, is our lover energy. Now, a lot of us, and especially Black women, have been taught to be afraid of the lover, because we're told when we show up as the lover, we are unsafe, or we are the scarlet woman. And, the Bible has shown when a woman shows up with passion and anything, and well, we can see what happens there. So the fact of the matter is, the lover is actually, let me rewind a second, because the thing is, the lover has been kind of pegged to be sexual and to be locked in the bedroom space. And her job is just to seduce and entice and all things that. But the problem is that is only a fraction, and I said that quite deliberate, a fraction of what the lover is. The lover is our side, is about passion, is about sensuousness, living with your life full, is about being turned on and turned up and being totally in tune with this life that you're living. The lover, she doesn't go for half measures. She's looking for passion, excitement, pleasure. Do you know what gives you pleasure? Pleasure and joy. She is looking for that. And that energy of the lover, and note, men have the lover energy as well. That energy of the lover does not only belong in the bedroom or in intimate spaces with your intimate partner. She actually belongs in the boardroom, in offices. And before you think I'm saying what I'm saying, no, I'm not trying to invite you to a HR conversation. But what I'm talking about is the lover is the one that drives your passion. She helps you build communities because she will build up this excitement and passion for your business, your product, your clients. She is the one that will share that spark, that joy, and get people, oh, I want to know what that is. She's the one when she comes into room with her energy turned up, people are like, I want to go and talk to her. I don't know why, but I do. I want to go. No, I want to go and talk to her because there's something about her. That is the lover energy at play. The lover energy is excitable and it brings with it passion, joy, pleasure. And then we move from the lover to the alchemist. The alchemist and the goddess almost sometimes reside in the same space because the alchemist is the one that creates out of nothing, the one that creates out of the unusual, out of the, she is the one that will use herbs to heal, understand the lore and physical and principle of this universe that we live in. She is the one that the queen summons and go, okay, so I have this idea, this is what I want. And the alchemist will figure it out and work on the plan. So the queen is the head, is that, oh, this is what we're going to do. This is a good plan. This is what we're going to action. And then she has her team, the warrioress, the lover, the alchemist. And the alchemist is the one that is going and is like, okay, so what I'm going to do is this, this, and this, and this, and this. Let me put it together. Let me take it all together and let me manifest something. The lover, the alchemist in you is the one that's going to manifest some incredible things out of nothing. You know what I'm talking about because you've done it time and time again. You've been in a situation thinking, I don't know how I'm going to do this. And you've done it. And you're like, how did that happen? Because you actually activated your inner alchemist. And then we have the wise woman. The wise woman is the one that, whether you want to call her your higher self, your future self, she is the one who's been there, seen it, has a t-shirt, done it all, and is like, okay, so this is how we do it. The inner wise woman is the one that wants to counsel you, who wants to speak life into you, who wants to share with you the knowledge of her experience. The inner wise woman should be the one that we listen to, but unfortunately, we sometimes listen to her out of balance self, which is the inner bitch. You know, the one who tells us we are not enough, not good enough, da 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 da. The inner wise woman is opposite to her. She is the one that's like, you know what? We tried this, it didn't quite work. But here's what we learned. Here's what we're going to do next. Here's the action we are going to take. She champions you. She invites you to step out of your comfort zone. She entices you, whether she will give you an ethical bribe and say, you do this today, tomorrow we'll get this. Whatever it is, she doesn't make you feel bad about your decision. She doesn't want to hurt you. She wouldn't talk down to you. And she's there as your support system. And we circle back to the diva. The diva is your energy to stand up and be seen. She is the one that shows up. She's a Sasha Fierce to Beyonce. Now, I'm not asking you to be famous and be Beyonce, but what I'm asking you is to channel that inner superpower to show up for you. The diva is the one that will advocate for you. The diva is the one that's like, the queen has said this, and this is what's going to happen. I am not available. I am not available for anything that does not match what the queen has set out. And so the diva won't show up and you won't show up. And she's like, no, these dreams are too small. Call me when you're prepared to really step into the big girl zone. That's the diva. She wants you to play bigger, higher. She is the one that will step into rooms that your inner girl is like, I can't do this. The diva is like, I'll hold your hand. Let's go. She is your performer. She will show up for you. So all of a sudden you're in spaces talking and you're like, but really, truthfully, I'm an introvert. And the diva is like, yeah, I know, but we still have a message to share. And she will do it for you in a voice that is authentic to you. And that's why people think, oh, for me to be seen, for me to be visible, I must act and be somebody totally different. Your inner diva is like, no, you can be you, but just I will help you turn the lights up a bit. You can still be an introvert. I'll take over from here. So these are your 9 feminine superpowers, and I'm going to delve into each one a bit more. Listen, if you're not subscribed to my YouTube channel, please go over, subscribe. And if you're not subscribed to me on Instagram, you want to go find me under the Self-Love Architect. I'm looking forward to connecting with you, and you get another video pretty soon. Bye.